Hi, my name is Trisha Lee. I'm the author of the last year series, the first one being Whispers in Autumn, which you're reading currently in your class. And one of your classmates asked me if I would do some video responses to some questions, and I said yes because I just thought it was a new idea, and kudos to him for coming up with it. So the first question I have here is, where was I born? I was born in a suburb of Kansas City, Missouri, called Independence, Missouri, and I grew up in Kansas City, still live here. I had a really, boring, normal, happy childhood, which doesn't make for great stories, but it made for a great experience. It's really hard for me to choose a favorite memory because I don't have, I have so many, but I'm gonna cheat and choose the time that I spent at the Lake of the Ozarks. It's kind of in central southern Missouri, down in the Ozark Mountains. My grandparents, my mom's parents, lived there my whole life and had a house, and my parents had a boat. My grandparents had a garden, and I would work out there with my grandpa. We would make cider in the fall and that kind of stuff, and then all summer I could bring my friends down, and my dad would take us out in the boat, and we'd go tubing and skiing and that kind of stuff. So that's probably, just being at the lake is my favorite childhood memory as a whole. I know that's cheating, but I don't care. Asking an author, or just anyone who loves reading, what is the best book they've read or their favorite book is kind of a horrible question, because there's just too many. I could maybe make you a top 10 list of my favorite books, but I could never pick just one. Some of my favorites real quick: A Wrinkle in Time by Madeline L'Engle, Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, this is it. Recently, Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. I also love The Historian by Elizabeth Kostova. I also really loved recently Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, Dark Inside by Jane Roberts. I'm just gonna quit because I could name like 50 more, but those are some that just come onto the top of my head as favorites. And also there were some more recent ones in there, authors you might want to give a try to. So until about a year ago, I have a really boring answer to this question because I hadn't really been a lot of places. I guess I've been to a lot of places in the United States. My family's kind of spread out, so I have traveled pretty extensively. I can actually pick this up and show you. I have two maps on my wall. This one is the places that I've visited in the continental United States. I've never been to Alaska or Hawaii. And so you can see I've been quite a few places. I've never been to Oregon, the Pacific Northwest. And there's a few places in the Northeast that I've missed, but not bad. This map behind me shows the places that I have been in Europe now. I realize that's backwards for you, and that's a little bit confusing. But last summer, my best friend, my best friend from high school, middle school, elementary school is living in Switzerland currently. So a year ago, I got to travel, and I visited her. We went to Switzerland, we went to Germany, we went to Austria, we went to Prague and the Czech Republic, Amsterdam, Ireland, and we got to go see the tennis at Wimbledon before we came home. I've also been to Canada and Mexico, and in a few short weeks I get to visit Australia. So I definitely recommend traveling. I recommend doing it while you're young, you don't have responsibilities like pets and husbands and children, and because the world is a pretty amazing place, and if you're going to spend your money on something, that's definitely something that I think is worth it. What got me into writing is definitely being a reader. I was always a huge reader. I remember like super clearly the first book that I read by myself was the first book in the Babysitter's Club, Christy's Big Idea. My mom bought it for me at a bookstore at the mall. I came home, I think I was in between 4th and 5th grade, or maybe 3rd and 4th grade. And I laid across the bed in my bedroom and I read the whole thing before dinner, and I just never looked back. I always was reading. So I think one day I just kind of realized that maybe I have my own stories to tell, and then I could do this, and I wanted to contribute as well. A specific gateway would definitely have been that I have a film degree from Texas Christian University. Thought about acting for a while, but then kind of decided that that wasn't really for me, and got into writing scripts and screenplays. And that was like a big turning point for me, deciding to do it professionally, was that how much I enjoyed writing the screenplays. And then I thought, I don't know if I really know enough about this to write movies, but I definitely know about writing books, so I'm going to try that. Kind of a tough question, because I have there's more than one, there's always another kind of level of dream to accomplish. So finishing my first book was a dream. That probably took me more than 2 years to finish the first book. Having a book published was a dream, and that took probably 3 years from when I first decided to write seriously. Getting a literary agent was a huge accomplishment, and that took me about a couple of years from when I started writing seriously, maybe 3 or 4. Having a book published, another 3-4 years from the beginning. Having a book hit a bestseller list, that was my fifth book that I published that hit a bestseller list, and that hit the USA Today list. I still have a ton more goals. I still want to hit the New York Times list. I'd love to have a book turned into a movie or a television show. So I think it's really important, though, to have a career and have something that you're passionate about that you can keep achieving more, because it kind of keeps you going, keeps you motivated, keeps you working every day, and that kind of thing. So, I mean, how long did it take until your dreams were realized? I think they're still not, and I think that that's okay, and I think it's a good thing. I work 7 days a week, 365 days a year. If I'm not working, I'm thinking about working. I'm thinking about emails that need to be returned. I'm thinking about editors that need to be contacted, covers that need to be made, bills that need to be paid, that kind of thing. So I'm always working. I work hard. I work all the time. It's totally worth it. I don't know if my boyfriend would agree, but it's definitely, being a full-time author is definitely not the kind of job that you can do 40 hours a week and be successful. So if that's the kind of career you want, it's probably not for you. Actually, any kind of self-employment or creative industry is probably not for you if you're not willing to work at it really, really hard. Harder than you've ever worked at anything else. Have a plan B, because you never know if books are going to continue to sell or people are going to continue to connect. And not only that, like, I think I will always publish books, but there's real life and bills have to be paid and things come up and you need to make money. So I do have a second love, and that would be history. I am about 3/4 of the way through a master's degree. So if I had to pick a different career and go back and do something else to make money, I would finish my master's and probably doctorate. I'd love to teach college history, ancient history, focused on Rome. There is always a book in progress, and usually more than one. I'm sitting here right now staring at my idea notebooks, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on my desk. They're not full, but there's always ideas waiting to be written. At this point, it's actually, I worry that I won't have time in my life to write all the stories that I want to, and I definitely have to prioritize. Right now, at this very moment, I am writing the 3rd book in my YA science fiction series, The Cabby Files, which is about genetic mutation, superheroes, kind of like a young X-Men, Alias kind of spy thing. So I just started that. I'm about 5,000 words in, so I still have a ways to go. And behind that is the 6th book in a adult mystery series, a new book for my agent, a novella. And there's a long list. I don't know, when I'm ever going to take a break, but I kind of don't want to, so I guess that's okay. Just want to say thanks again to Mr. Gutierrez for inspiring me to do something a little bit different and answer some of these questions, and I hope that you guys have a great unit. I hope that you guys really enjoy the book and want to read the rest of the series, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it when you're done.